Thank you indeed. We are just here still again to just give you more briefs about the representations and what it should be done. And we have gone to what we call, we've moved hills, lakes, oceans until we have got to South Africa. And definitely we have one of the representatives from South Africa just to give us more in depth about what is to be done. And according to the UN charters that different countries are supposed to be represented from various countries, specifically people with disabilities. What is his take and what you think is about? And after this Commonwealth meeting, what he expects? Thank you so much. Kindly start with your name and the country, and what are your expectations after these sessions, and what are you taking back at home?
Sir, my name is Heinrich Charles Smith, but commonly known as Sandlana. I'm from the Free State Legislature in South Africa, and I am very proud to be here today and to have a chance to speak to you and bring my opinion. Obviously, I cannot speak on behalf of my country as I'm just a delegate and have to take everything that I have heard here and learned back to my leaders in South Africa. But what I've heard here and what I've seen today is that there is an urge among strong leaders in Africa who wants to do more for disabled people. They are serious about their business. They've come here well prepared. And this is a Commonwealth initiative, but we are also making today in Africa history, as this is the first such conference ever. Uh, we've come here not really understanding what will be expected from us, but we are going away here very strongly with lots of ideas in our pockets, strong ideas, better understanding of people, disabilities. Although we are expected to speak out about our own disability, we need now to take our voices to our individual parliaments, say, where are we coming short in what we are doing if we compare it to other countries? Each country has got their own ideas, but what I can assure you about South Africa, we are in the front row in the march of supporting and bringing forward support for people with disabilities. We support them very strongly financially. We support them medical-wise. We support them on all levels where they speak out and ask and come to us and need our countries and our government's assistance. Before this local government, the current government of the African National Congress, there was very little support for disabled people. There was very little understanding of what we as disabled people need to make our lives easier. There was very few government buildings, for instance, and I specifically speak about government, where there was no access for people in wheelchairs, where the steps even today is so high that a person with the impairment and the leg impairment struggle to get on and off. And so South Africa is a front runner on all levels for the specific reason that there was in the previous dispensation so many disadvantages for different cultural groups and different individuals with different disabilities.
Let's talk of representations in different countries. How do you change the norms of our people, specifically when it comes to people with disability, that we are able to lead you in these different parts of the countries?
That is not an easy question because every form of disability has got own challenges. But the South Africa tries to address each and every sector of disability in their own specific way. So we have a lot of people who speak among themselves, who speak on behalf of disabled. And then we compile. But our biggest challenge is the education, if I may change over, is the education of business people who have still got a resistance against people with disability. And we cannot always blame the business person for that because our disabled people are sometimes very negative. And many of us have not made peace with our disability. And when we don't make peace with our disability, we are negative towards everything that are offered us. There are certain job descriptions for every task and every work action that you must take. And if you take that um, job description and you go and tick next to whatever job description to the things that you as a person are able to do, that you find there's a lot of them that falls out. And then we as disabled people feel, although we can't tick correct marks next to all of them, we still deserve to be reimbursed or be paid the same of a person who are fully capable. And we do not want to make or accept that, where that becomes then a challenge in the workplace. Uh, obviously, you as a person must make peace with what you are, who you are, and what you are capable of. Know your challenges and know your capability. I
Uh,
hope I answered that question.
yeah, there are some countries that have cut what you call tax payment for people with disability. Do you think this is a good initiative, and you also not pay taxes in your country?
You know, the people with real disabilities, they sit and they do apply for those assistance, the disability fund and disability assistance. And that is good. It is a pity that financially all countries are restricted in how much they can pay towards such a social grant. But then there are other people like myself who are not disabled. We are differently able. And I, for instance, can still do a full day's job, specifically everything what everybody else can do. And then I do not claim such. But yes, the assistance is there. It's good. You cannot leave those people. They will end up on the street corners. They will be beggars. And the country has got a responsibility. We have got the Freedom Charter, and it says one of says of the statement says we will all benefit from the country's riches. We who stay in it. You understand that? So yes, I would say continue. All countries must continue with the support their disabled people. But we must be very careful. We must be very careful that we do not be exploited as a country by those who do not want to work. Like the one person who stands at the corner with this white stick in his hand and knowing that the 50 rand have dropped, look around and then pick it up. Those who are now really um, fraudulent disabled people.
There's a point that I've just recently that during your session that we have people who pretend to be with disability. For instance, when you get to the city of Nairobi and various parts of when you go to Johannesburg and other parts of the world, people pretend to be with disability. What is your take on this, and how should it be handled?
Those are criminals, sir. Those are criminals because it leaves a bad image. It leaves a bad taste of the ordinary person. You know, I was stopped at the stop street and somebody came to me, really walking cripple. and I gave him some money, and then he turned around and walked away normal. It leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, and it does worse for the disabled, because now somebody who sees that is going to be more hesitant to give something to somebody who really needs it. So those people must be exposed.
On that juncture, there are some countries where the middlemen or these people who are capable, they have taken people with disability in the name of helping them. But when it gets to what we call the reality, you find that in reality they do business. For instance, here in Kenya, we are being told that there are people with disability who are being ferried from some corners to be brought in town to be doing what we call begging. Do you think it is the right time to be done on that?
No, that must be exposed. That must be exposed, because the money that those people then get in for the as donations are not going to the pockets or to the stomach of that person. Many real disabled people are exploited like that, and they get sometimes a very small percentage of what was actually given to them. Strongly, I feel strongly that there is a person, there should be a unit going around to find and to expose them.
Now let's take on these rounds that you in South Africa and maybe you've been mistaken identically or your identity have been mistaken. What is the approach on the other side, and how do you take it to the Africa and the world at large?
Can you repeat that? I don't
Uh, uh,
understand that
uh,
question.
for instance, we have people with disability
Yeah,
who are their identities are mistaken.
yeah. So
What is
they're not really disabled.
yeah? What is your message and your take to the people, specifically the Africa, because we are talking to the world, Africa at large, and the other parts of the country.
Yeah. You know, what I would like to say on that is our disabled people are just as responsible to expose the fraudulent disabled people as we who are around them. Because people are usually very open and very uh, giving towards disabled. But we have a lot of disabled people that knows about the fraudulent ones next to them. They are the ones that must come right through the world and expose those who are fraudulent disabled. I hope that answers your question.
You answer that's interesting. So now, as we make the propagations or the progressions towards the parliamentarians and representations from different countries and different parts of the world, as you'll be getting out of this place, specifically from either tomorrow or another day, the message to take to your country that you've learned here through this session, what will be your message to your country?
That we are not the only ones in South Africa that are struggling with our problems, but that we've got a universal problem. In every problem that we have with disability, there is a similar problem in the rest of the world, in each and every country. And what we have been doing now in Africa with this conference is to bring together countries that we can talk and combine our knowledge and our efforts and our energy to support disability right through the Africa, and that it may spill over, and that we can be an example for the rest, and that our country must not stand back ever, and that South Africa must take the lead like Kenya has done now. We need that. We need to take hands and be unified.
As we finalize, what is your comment, your final comment, as we get person from Sierra Leone so that you also get to share with us what is going on? What is your take specifically when it comes to matter of disability and community acceptance? Disability and community acceptance. For instance, the way you are, acceptance in the community is very hard. What is your take specifically and your advice to the people who might have got people with disability in their families?
You know, it took me a long time to realize that I'm disabled. So I don't look at myself as a disabled person. I looked at myself as a differently able person. And it is easy for your family and for the community to accept you if you even if you are disabled. It is very easy for you to do that. If you accept yourself. So my message to the disabled there is make peace with yourself. Because if you can't make peace with your disability or your problem, your way that you must change your life, nobody else is going to do it for you. And then you're going to be a burden for your family. You're going to be a burden for the community. You're going to be a burden for your government. Make peace with it. Sit forward if you can't stand. Step forward. Don't sit. Live yourself out in your community. Be part. Be an asset to your country. Doesn't matter how you are.
It means that it's supposed not to be a burden to your
You
community.
must not be a burden to your family.
Your final comment as we leave.
My final comment. Believe in your God. Believe in who you believe in. I am a Christian and I believe in God and the power of Jesus Christ. If you believe in that, you believe in Jesus and God, you can achieve anything and outrun and outwalk anybody, even if you are in bed or in a chair or on a crutch. It's your personality that's going to count to take you forward.
Thank you so much. And I'm so much grateful and actually humbled. You have a very word with a meaning and word that can change somebody's life. Because when you talk of somebody changing or not being a burden to the country, then it means you need to say to yourself, do something. That's a very great idea. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for our viewers who are watching us all the way. We are live from Nairobi, Kenya, just to give you the sentiments from various leaders who just come across to ensure that they come together to sensitize, get the ideas, and implement it in their various respective countries so that once they are there, we are able to come up with ideas that will have to help the country. And we have been moved all the way from South Africa, that's where you are, and just to give you the definite and some definite statements regarding the people with disability, the statement from a very person with the strong words and words with meaning and definitely can change your life. Just talking of change your ideas, specifically when it comes to matter of disabilities. Let's change the ideas totally. Let's change the ideas about these people have the capability, have the potential. And in his statement, he has talked about, or the world just want to echo on less work. The state of being disabled person, it's not all about that. You need to get out, do something, don't be a burden to your community. Thank you. Definitely, we are coming live from Nairobi, Kenya. Just when this session is just to give you a motivational word, specifically, disability is not inability, and whoever is able to or capable of doing. We've seen representatives, leaders, CEO, directors of various countries or various organizations leading, and despite of being disabled, that's a challenge. It is just you can harmonize in something else that is big. Definitely from there, I end this session with my name. I was your host, Kaka Juma, right from Nairobi, Kenya, Serena Hotel. Let's meet next time. Enjoy our next episode of our next show on that is esports with our friends or our presenter.